Hi everyone, welcome back to another video for PSO2 New Genesis. Today what I want to cover is the new Neon City update that was added recently, and what this video is going to do is basically show you how the quest works for anyone who hasn't tried it yet, just some tips for getting through the quest a little bit quicker, and just general overview of why you would want to run Neon City as well. And I'll also give you my overall impressions of it as well. So first of all, let's get into how do you start Neon City. So every time you do Neon City, you'll tend to get dumped back to Steer, so I guess it's kind of counted as a Steer quest, but you can access it from basically anywhere. So if you got your quest counter and go to Nameless City Exploration, it falls under here. You can see we've still got the old Nameless City quest here, but we've also now got Nameless City Entertainment Zone Investigation, which is Neon City. So the way this quest works, it's somewhat similar to the Nameless City quest that we've had, in that you're collecting points, but there is a difference with the gimmick for this quest. So with the regular Nameless City, as you'll know if you've run it, you would typically collect points by killing enemies, doing trials, and by collecting the pickups, and then you would spend those points to open chests to get the weapons and the capsules and everything. With this quest, what you want to do is you want to get a grand total of points to be able to clear the quest, which I believe, and I could be wrong on this, but I believe it's 200,000 points for solo, and I think the amount that you need increases with the number of party members. But generally, if you've got a few party members, you'll probably clear it quicker anyway, overall. So, to get those points, again, you can pick up items, which I'll go into. Again, you can do trials, so very, very similar to Nameless City. But there is another mechanic with these special nodes on the map, which kind of replace the chests that would give you the items in Nameless City. Just before we go in, you can see here we've got the featured item drops. So this quest is another source of the Arch weapons, which are the PSO weapons. As usual, they are very, very rare drops, so don't expect to get them from this. You can also get the Ley End weapons, which obviously now you can upgrade to Ley End 2. You can get Fortune armors from it. You can get some ring drops. But one of the main reasons you'll honestly run this is, first of all, it can actually drop the Argent capsules just straight up. These are quite rare drops, admittedly, but there is a chance of you just getting the Argent affixes straight up, which is really nice. Now, it doesn't show you on here, but the other reason that you would run this is because this is now the only quest that also drops the Argent LC capsules. So the Argent LC capsules, at the time of recording at least, they only drop from this quest. They're like previous LC series capsules, they are essentially worse versions of the regular affix. So Argent Gigas Mast LC will be worse than Argent Gigas Mast. The difference is though that the Argent LC capsules are much easier to get, and they are still quite a decent upgrade from the best of the previous tier of augments. So if you're comparing, for example, Gland Gigas Mast or Magis Gigas Mast, they are still generally worse than the LC Argent capsules. So even if you're using something like Magis Gigas Mast or Gland Gigas Mast, you probably still want to be upgrading to these LC capsules, at least in the interim until you've got enough capsules to make the proper augments. So that is definitely a reason to run this. It's also not a bad source of food items for Steer. For some reason at the end, it gives you a load of Steer food items as well. So what I'll do is I will load a quest and I'll load into a solo instance just so you can see how this works. So although this is very similar to Nameless City, there are some differences. First of all, the look of the place. Obviously it's called Neon City, you can probably see why. But there are some little differences. So you can see at the top right of the screen we have the timer, much like Nameless City. The quest will complete when that time runs out, but there are ways to actually finish the quest faster. So underneath the timer gauge you have a points gauge. That is the points you get from either killing enemies, completing trials, collecting coins. You might be able to see down the bottom there are some pickup coins, much like Nameless City. And then under that there is this here with the 3 Rappy symbols in it. So these are what are called Rappy Twinkles. Now Rappy Twinkles, you can see where they are on the map. They are pickup nodes, and you can see them actually in the air. So what you can see is we've got different Rappy holograms. Some are holding cubes, some are holding spheres, and some are holding pyramids. And what you need to do is basically collect one of each type. Every time you collect one of each type, you will roll on like a slot machine, and the slot machine, depending on the result you get, will give you a bonus amount of points. Now, the downside to this is that it does cost you points to unlock the Rappy Twinkles. So it's kind of a risk-reward thing to an extent, because quite often you will spend more points than you earn from the bonus. However, there is another benefit to it, which is that every time you get the Rappy Twinkles, you actually build up a multiplier for your score. So you'll end up getting more multipliers on your score anyway, so it becomes more worthwhile the later in the quest it gets. So what I'll do is I will show you how this works. You can also see at the top left we do have the map. It is very, very small, but on the map it does actually show you on there where the Rappy Twinkle pickups are. So if you see down here, we have a Rappy Twinkle over here, and you can see it costs 3,000 points to get to unlock it. So if I try now, it won't let me because I don't have enough exploration points. You can collect these to get some more points. But one of the faster ways is probably just by doing trials early on and by killing enemies. So what you'll find is, particularly when you're doing this with multiple people, you will earn points a lot faster by killing enemies and doing trials. Generally just collect the pickups as you go around. Trials seem to be a lot better use of your time for the most part, because you do get a lot of bonuses from them. There is also on the map the switches here. So what these do, as it says, is these actually reset the Rappy Twinkle locations. Because what you'll find is, as you collect the Rappy Twinkles, they will disappear from the map, and you'll end up with only a couple left eventually. But let's say you're right at the north of the map, like where I am now, and let's say you only need one more twinkle, and that twinkle is right at the south of the map. What you can do is you can pay 5,000 points to reset the locations. This will respawn all the Rappy Twinkles, and might put the twinkle that you need a bit closer to you. I should also stress as well that if you just collect all of the twinkles on the map, they will reset for free as well. So this is more used as like a convenience thing. So if you're trying to get to a twinkle that's pretty much on the other side of the map to you, sometimes it's worth spending the 5,000 just to respawn them all to get one closer to you. So with that, that's a very, very brief rundown of how the quest works. So what I'll do is I'll load into a proper run now so you can see how it works in action. So I should stress as well that this is all ship enabled. They have also fixed one of the big problems with Nameless City, which was that quite often Nameless City, particularly when the Rappy event was on, you would get quite big lag spikes in it because of the amount of drops that were dropping. So the way they've done it now is with Neon City, you won't actually get drops during the quest. What it will do is at the end of the quest, it'll warp you to a separate part of the map, and there'll be one chest for you to open at the end, which has all of your drops in. And it does seem to have solved the lag problems with it, which is good. So let's load into an actual full run, and you can get an idea of how it actually works in practice. Okay, so I've loaded in here, and this is a 32 player area as well, so you will just kind of spawn in and out as you go. So at the start of the quest, you won't be able to access any of the Rappy Twinkles because you just won't have the points for them. So at the start, it's probably just worth finding where the other people are and just joining in with killing stuff first. The map, if you haven't noticed, it is just an entire reskin of Nameless City, so it is pretty much the exact same map. Okay, there's a trial spawn in here because I can't move here. Yeah, it's a weird thing with NGS. Some arms, if you get stuck randomly and you can't move, it's because these are going to spawn. It kind of reserves the space for them when they spawn. So we've got a trial here. The enemies are very high level here as well. They are 117 for the bosses, so... For doing that, we've got 2,000 points. Plus the points for killing the enemies as well. So you get bonus points for clearing the trial as well. In fact, it was 2,000 just for killing the boss. We actually got some more points for clearing the trial. So you can see we're already at 10,000 points. So what I tend to do in this is I'll tend to sort of stick with people and try and do a few trials, if possible, just to get a decent chunk of points to begin with. And then I'll go and farm the Rappy Twinkles. Again, there might be other better ways of doing it, but... So you will notice as you play that you'll get these trials at start, which are the Star Rappy Twinkle collections. This is similar to Neilma City. So the way this works basically is it will spawn a lot more coins on the map for you to pick up, which is obviously good for points. But what it will also do, if I can find any, is it will give you these special Star Rappies. So the Star Rappies are unique in that they don't require any points to pick up. So this is a really good chance to build your multiplier up without spending points. So again, you need 3 of them, so we've got a second one there. And you can see as we're getting them, the gauge on the right-hand side is building up. So we'll try and find a third one. Where's the third one? Ah, there's one over there. So you can see we get 3, and what it'll do, it says point right up, and at the top right you can see there's a slot machine spinning. So that slot machine will spin, and we'll land on something, which in this case is a Love Rappy, and that gives us 3,000 bonus points. And that will happen every time you get 3 Rappies. So obviously during this trial, the Star Rappies you can just pick up for no points. But outside of this trial, you will be picking up the points, picking up the Rappy Twinkles by spending points on them. You can also see where the Twinkles are. You will see like light beams in the sky with a holographic Rappy. Typically, the trial doesn't really last that long, so you'll probably only get a chance to pick a few up. I don't know if I'll manage to get another 3 here, but even if you don't get the Rappies, it's still really good for points anywhere. Is there another one anywhere? There is one over there. I don't know if I can get to it in time, though. I'll try. Nice, we got another one. Yeah, so anytime this trial comes up, it's a really good time to just collect points and get the Rappies as well. Now, I should know, so I've collected another Rappy there. Then that trial ends, and what you'll notice now is I don't have a Rappy with me anymore. So those Star Rappies are only for that trial. So if you collect 2 and don't get a third one, you'll basically waste them. So we've got 60,000 points now, so now what I can do is start collecting the Rappy Twinkles. So you can see here we've got one, costs 3,000 points to interact with it. And this guy has a cube. They are also colour-coded as well. So the red ones are cubes, the yellow ones are spheres, and the blue ones are pyramids. So you can see, now I picked up the cube one. At the right hand side of the screen, the cube Rappy is lit up. Now, we've got another one here, but this is another cube Rappy. So if I try interacting with this, it'll say you've already obtained this Rappy Twinkle. So you can't just keep collecting the same type, you have to collect 3 different types. So what I'll tend to do is, as well as using the map, you can actually just look in the sky as well and see where they are. So you can see in the sky there is a Rappy with a pyramid, which corresponds to this one here. So I get that, and that gives us the pyramid Rappy. So now what I want is the sphere. So again, looking at my map, and I can see that there is a couple of circles on the map towards the top. So there is one over here. So we'll grab that. And that should then re-roll on the slot machine again. So that's the worst result. That only gives you 1,000. That's the one you'll get most of the time, honestly. There are also trials that will happen, as you've seen during this. Trials are a really, really good source of points as well. But your goal basically is to try and get 200,000 points, or just play until the time runs out. I should note as well that at the time of recording, there is a bug with Neon City, with one of the orders for it. So you're meant to have an order to clear Neon City. Unfortunately, there is a bug with it at the moment where if you do it in a party, only the party leader will get the order for some reason. SEGA are aware of it. It might be fixed by the time this video goes live, but just something to be aware of, that you won't be able to clear that order if you're not the party leader. It is a bug though, it's not intended. Also, I should stress that you don't actually have to kill the enemies to get the points. As long as they die near you, you will still get the points for them. So we do have another trial. Yeah, overall, it is very, very similar to Nameless City in terms of, you know, you are collecting points. It's just the way you use the points is a bit different. You know, in Nameless, you were using the points to open the, to open up the chest to get items. In this, you are using the points to get to the clear rating for the quest. And then once you clear, then you get your rewards at the end. So like now, as we're about halfway through, I want to sort of go over my opinions of this quest. Honestly, I'm kind of a bit mixed opinion on it so far. I think the aesthetic of the place is pretty interesting. You know, I like the sort of the almost like cyberpunk neon background. I think that's really cool. But at the end of the day, it is just Nameless City with a different texture set on it. The way the actual quest works, I think, is fine. Again, it is relatively similar to running the regular Nameless City. I do feel, for me, and some people might not agree with this, but I personally feel that the new gimmick makes it a little bit more annoying than regular Nameless City. Because you can't just run around and collect chests, you have to find specific nodes on the map. I also feel like it just isn't different enough from regular Nameless, in my opinion. I still have fun with it. I still think it's fine. I mean, I kind of enjoyed Nameless City anyway, so maybe I'm not the best person to make an opinion on that, but for me, it does just feel very, very similar to regular Nameless City, just with a slightly different gimmick. I mean, I'm glad to see them getting more use out of Nameless and making it relevant again. I should stress actually as well, because I don't think I mentioned it, that there is one other reason to run this quest, which is, at the moment, it is the only source of the 14-star Spradio weapon series, which the Spradio series are the next upgradable weapons. They're not upgradable at the moment, but they will be in the future. So if you think of the Arch weapons as the chase weapons for 14-star, the Spradio series are the ones that are a lot easier to get, that'll have upgrades later. So I think something similar to your Duvog weapons, for example. Yeah, overall, I think I don't mind this quest. I don't think it's anything revolutionary by any means. It's a nice little distraction. I certainly don't really consider it major content though. So now basically what I'm doing is I'm focusing more on the trials, but as I'm going, I'm trying to collect some of the Rapid Twinkles as I go. Again, your goal is basically to get to 200,000 points or when the time expires. If you get good runs, you can clear this quest before the time actually expires. I would say most of your runs you will clear it before it expires, because you will start getting very large amounts of points from the trials. Again, you are basically using the Rapid Twinkles to increase your point rate multiplier, so that when you do trials, you get a massive bonus from them. So that last trial we did, for example, was about 11,000 points.
Success.
So although it might seem counterintuitive spending points to get points, you're basically doing it to increase your multiplier so you can get more points later. I do just want to touch on this quickly as well. I think one of the most disappointing things about this quest is the fact that they didn't use Neon Nights for the theme. You know, there was a song from PSO2 called Neon Nights, and we're literally in a neon city at night. It was the perfect opportunity to use that that music, but for some reason they decided to just go with the regular Neon City music. I think that's a massive missed opportunity personally, but I was genuinely surprised that we actually got this music and not Neon Nights. So unfortunately, I do keep getting the Rappy Feet on the slot machine, which is the worst result. But that is by far the most common result. You can clear this quest very, very early if you get lucky, because there is actually a slot machine result, the Gold Rappy. And the Gold Rappy will actually give you 100,000 points, which is, you know, immediately halfway to completing the quest. Okay, so we're at 197,000, so it's probably going to end in almost immediately. Yeah, there we go. So we've hit 200,000 points. And that should clear the quest for us when the game catches up. There we go. Eventually it caught up. They got a bit confused because it started a trial at the same time as the quest ending. So once the quest ends, it will warp you to here. Just a note, you do have a timer here, so you have 180 seconds before it will kick you back to the lobby. So make sure you open this. This has all of your drops in it. So we get a lot. So let's see what kind of stuff we got. So we got Improved Cubes, Fortis Vance, Progress Grinders, Foundia, Mars Updaters, Uniterdia, Strass Scepter, Grand Dread Keepers. You know, there is a lot of different capsules here. Bangigas Mast. As I say, you can actually get the Argent capsules from this, but they are quite rare. And there you can see we've got the Argent LC capsules. You will get those every single run. They feel like they're a fixed drop. I think you get 4 every single run of each type. So you will be able to upgrade your gear quite quickly by doing this. And then you can see we also get a load of steer meat as well. We did also get one of the Spradio weapons from this as well, so I think it was the Rod. Yeah, so we've got a Spradio Rod, so these are the 14-star upgradable weapons. Again, they're not that rare. These are the 14 stars to basically get you into a 14-star weapon. But at the moment, I probably wouldn't consider using them. I'd probably just hold on to them, try and get ones with good EXs, and then upgrade them later on. But that is a very brief sort of look at the Neon City. Overall, I like Neon City, but I do think that for me, it's not different enough from Nameless City to be a massive deal. I think it's fun enough, and I will run it to get my capsules that I need and everything. But it does feel very, very similar to Nameless City. Yes, it has the different aesthetic, and there is the different gimmick with the Rappy Twinkles, but it does still feel very, very similar to me. But yeah, we will end that one there for today. So if you have enjoyed the video, please consider either liking, subscribing, or join as a member on YouTube if you want to. If you've got any other questions about Neon City, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them where I can. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, hope to see you in the next one, and hopefully see you in NGS.